Boys and girls, today we're going to go to Malapascua, the town of the Thresher sharks, and they are simply amazing. Join on the trip with me. Let's go! Getting to Malapascua, not easy. What a lot of people do is they land in Cebu and they either get on a public bus or you get on a private transport and you get driven up to the very top tip of the actual Cebu proper island, which is about a 3 to 4 hour ride. The prices for this transportation isn't too much at all. I didn't really feel that it was that expensive. I thought it was actually quite reasonable because your private transport is definitely going to be a lot more expensive than a public bus transport. But if you do get on that, just understand that there is no toilet breaks for like 4 hours. So if you need to go, yeah, you're kind of stuffed. Yes, you do want to set off pretty early, and once you get to the port, you get on this little boat which then takes you out to Malapascua, which takes about an hour and a half or so. The island itself is quite interesting. There isn't much infrastructure. Forget roads. There's no cars. It's just motorbikes going everywhere. Yes, you do see some remnants of some pretty bad natural disasters, but yes, the people of the island actually tried very hard to bring the life back into the island, and people are visiting Malapascua again. The night markets is teeming with life, but be careful what you eat from there, because if you are not good with your stomach capacity, you may catch a bug. My sister definitely did. Just watch out. For me personally, I like to stick to fresh fruits when I'm on tropical islands like this, because that is what they're really well renowned for and good for. But the night market is very fun. This marketplace is also open during lunchtime as well, so make sure you go check out during that time too. And of course, when you go to Malapascua, you must check out Angelina's, because that is one of the best pizzas I've ever had. The getup is really nice, the pizza is amazing, and yes, it is run by Italians, so you're gonna get something super authentic, and that pizza you're seeing right there, super delicious. And of course, being the Koreans that we are, after a while, we want to taste something spicy and delicious. So we actually found some shinramen on the island, which I thought was pretty interesting, and we took it to our own hands. Some snobby ramen-loving Koreans we are, right? And off to do some diving. We actually stayed in Slam's Resort. Santiago, if you're watching this, you are awesome and we love you. And of course, Kepa, who was our diving instructor. Of course, I didn't have the advanced diving license before I went on this trip. And to actually get the license, I wanted to do that in style with some dope looking creatures like the Thresher sharks. So we went along to this resort called Slam's Resort. It is not a 7, 8, 10 star resort, but it is a wonderful resort. You're gonna get the best bang for your buck there, and the people there are simply amazing. The food is clean, and the setup is really nice. As you might know, with licensing for diving, you're gonna have your pool sessions, and after a series of pool sessions, you're gonna go out to the actual beach and the ocean itself. The pool session itself was a lot of fun. Of course, we didn't actually have too many dramas, and we just smashed out the modules one by one, and we did a really good job. And I think that's partly because the instructor team is actually so good. And what's really fun about doing some scuba diving in the pool is that there is no current whatsoever. So when you're waiting for your dive mates to finish off your module, you can take a little nap, which I think is super cool. After the pool session, we're off to do a proper dive out in the ocean. Now, there's so many different options around Malapascua, and these different spots will be famous for different types of wildlife. Pop goes the weasel into the water. We go out in the ocean, and there is actually quite a lot to see underwater. The visibility is actually pretty good. Santiago did a wonderful job taking us around the dive site itself, and we didn't miss a thing. The wildlife is rich, and you will not know time going past. There's not much current at all, and as a diver, Malapascua is a place that you want to be. We don't actually get to go to the Thresher shark straight away, but there is still quite a lot of other really interesting things to see even before you go check out the Thresher sharks. When we were there, we actually did do quite a lot of dives because it is actually part of the advanced diving course itself. So if you're gonna ask anyone who's actually seen a good chunk and a fair share of the island itself, you're gonna ask me. So the night dive in Malapascua was actually quite fun, and I really enjoyed it, partly because the boat ride over to the night dive site wasn't actually so long. So it's literally just off the beach, and at nighttime off the beach there's actually quite a lot of wildlife as well, and the water's not too deep there, so at nighttime you're actually maintaining quite a lot of that visibility too. And because Malapascua is a very, very secluded, underdeveloped island, there isn't too much light. So when you come out of the water at a night dive and you look up into the sky, you are going to see stars like there's no other. Of course, I didn't have the camera equipment that I brought along to actually shoot and show you what the night sky looked like, but it is definitely one of the most unforgettable sights I've ever witnessed in my entire life. Okay, so now we're off to see the highlight of the trip, and that is to check out them Thresher sharks, and they are simply amazing. I think they're one of the most beautiful sharks that ever existed. Their eyes are big, they look like big anime eyes, and the mouth is really small. You don't have to be afraid of these Thresher sharks because they don't actually eat you, human beings. They just come up to you and they're quite friendly. I felt as though even if it were to come straight up to me, that I probably wasn't going to be so scared. But what you do have to watch out for is their tail, because they use that tail to thresh on their prey, and that's what's going to kill the prey. Then they're able to consume the prey. But overall, they're seemingly one of the most magnificent looking sharks you'll ever see. And like a lot of sharks out there, they have really messy skin, and it's quite scratchy and not the most pretty looking. But these sharks, they look beautiful. Their skin is like flawless, and you're going to get very close to them, and sometimes you might be able to see 3 or 4 at the same time. The chance of you seeing a Thresher shark when you are in Malapascua is almost 100%. Unless you're like the unluckiest person alive, you're definitely not going to miss Thresher sharks in Malapascua. That's how common they are. The travel out to actually see the Thresher sharks is actually quite hard. The water is quite choppy, and if you're not so good with the seasick, you're going to struggle. Within Malapascua, the small boat that you have to go out to these dive sites, well, you're going to be on these boats for quite a long time. You're going to just remember that you're going to be on boats for longer than you're going to be underwater. That's just how Malapascua is. But when you see these Thresher sharks, it'll be totally worth it. We actually enjoy seeing the Thresher shark so much so that we actually went back for the second time around, and here you can see how close and personal these Thresher sharks can get. So you're definitely not going to short sell yourself on the experience when you do go to Malapascua to check out the Thresher sharks. So overall, the experience that I had in Malapascua and the resort that I stayed in, Slams Resort, and the Ocean Passion Diving Center, which is the actual dive center that is associated with the resort, it was amazing. The people, the service, and the friends that we met while we're on the trip was simply out of this world. For those of you who were actually on the trip and you're watching this right now, thank you so much for bringing such positive energy, and all the people that helped us out to actually go dive. Thank you so much. If you are interested to find out more about diving, how you can go around seeing the same stuff that I'm seeing around the world, go check out the link in the description below, because you're going to find a lot of resources and how to access these trips for yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. If you haven't done so, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. If you haven't considered diving as a sport, well, today is a fantastic day to start. Go grab someone you love, go grab someone you care about, get on the road and get on a trip with them. I'll see you next time. Peace.